short speeches on the stage. And after that, we go to Arctic Fika. And there you have possibility to speak with these guys more deeply if you want to know more detail about each initiations. Okay, we will start with Visitlo, Finnish Rovaniemi-based company has developed the platform which Susanna Jänkälä from, what is the company name? 7-1, sorry, blackout. 7-1 company has developed. So Susanna, please, stage is yours.
Okay, thank you. Good morning. Hyvää huomenta, good morning. My name is Susanna Jänkälä and I come from Visitlo, from mainostoimisto development advertising agency. But we have actually made this Visitlo platform for help our customers in the very beginning. So let's have a look what do we have. For us, Visitlo is real people, genuine and real encounters, new places and skill maybe to learn. But we want to have small life-changing experiences, but this can be done remotely. And why did we do that? People want to experience new things with other people. It can be difficult to reach people now, as we know, travel can be difficult, it can be expensive, and it might be limited for various reasons. And I think that if Corona has taught us something, it is nowadays traditional working day that we have digital meetings, we have Zooms and we have Meets. I know it's boring, it might be boring, it's much more nice to see people, to talk people with, but I think that that's the way we have had more businesses, more new businesses, as Rane said, and Visitlo is one of those. Remote access and accessibility does not depend on time, status, physical limitations, or wealth. And as Rane told you, Visitlo is a platform which is developed for virtual travel, where you can book, pay and experience the service all at the same platform. You don't have to use any apps for that. You can do all at the same platform. And the main principles we had was easy to use. As a customer, it's easy to use. You only click and play. You have a link and then you are in. Interactivity and highly experienced feeling. Visitlo works on computer and on mobile devices, but it's not only technology. Our experience are always based on interactive activities between the live guide, always live guide. Live guide is the king in our platform. And between the king and between the participant. We have a simple timeline to show you how this is like an example. I'm not sure if you can see, you might see it. But in its simplest form, Visitlo experience involves video and audio communications between all participants. And always accompanying live guide leads the experience from step to step, and he or she can decide what do we as a customer see. I have short example for this discovering in the very beginning.
I live in Italy and in Genoa, in the northwest of Italy, near Milan.
Okay, I was in Genoa a long time ago when I was a kid. I went swimming there.
We're in Oregon.
Oregon, United States.
The United States.
Nice to meet you.
Then we have Janne.
Hello.
And
I'm in
Hienoa, hei hei! Sä olet 7-vuotias ja innokas jääkiekkoilija.
This is how it can look like to get know each other. This is not a tour, this is just getting know each other. The guide has option of using a virtual camera, which allows the guide to appear with pre-recorded or live videos, web pages, photos, maps, 360 images or music playing in the background. I think that Visitlo can there be like a theater or film where you can discuss with film stars, with people. You can ask them, why are you doing this? Hey, what's that? And you can get the answer right there. Before the experience, at the registration, participants may also be asked to provide additional information, and maybe they can have instructions for their participation, such as this is a receipt to make a dinner, or take a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, have your wool socks with, and maybe tell Santa something about the child in advance, something like that you can do before the trip. And even after the experience, participants can be contacted, and the meetings can be combined into larger sessions, which may include live meetings on site. For example, our own virtual tourism skill training is a series of remote experiences. Marketing will be done through product images like these from our pilots. And marketing will be at the same channels as you do your physical tours. On your own web pages, you can have 3 hours that, 1 hour that, virtual tour there, and virtual tour that. It's that simple. And we believe that our Visitlo tours can market your firm, your service on site also. This is the way that customer pays your marketing costs. That can be one idea. And also with visit organization, it's easy to have these virtual tours by marketing them there. And this is a conclusion of what do you need. As I said, the king, the live travel guide, he or she is the storyteller. He tells what happens, why, what shall we do next, what do we see now. And you can have, of course, you need to have a computer, camera, maybe a phone, and this our Visitlo platform. You can have stage, you can decorate it, or you can have green screen or blue screen, or maybe white wall, it's okay, it's enough. And your story, you can have videos, pictures, PowerPoints, whatever. I show you short examples from our pilot tours for you to see.
And off we go. Fire, and now we have a fire going.
Okay.
I'm just going to switch on the multi-view over here. And there we go. If everyone switches on their cameras and microphones, then we can have a little talk while we're waiting for our coffee to boil.
Very interesting. Thank you.
Pleasure. Do we have any other questions?
You can see northern lights only when it's dark. So that's why the northern lights season starts in autumn time. And with the timer 2 seconds or 5 seconds, I will not make a move for the camera when it's taking the picture. One thing I have to use quite often is headlamp. I have to use quite often very good hat. And believe or not, even I'm very local guy, I need to use double gloves.
Hey, oh, you look like nice humans.
So there's a big antlers the little black was talking about, and they weigh 9.3 kilos.
Ja tämän sadun nimi on Kissan ja koiran kotimatka. Voitte napsassa semmoisen yhteiskuvaan, jossa näkyy joulupukki ja pienessä ruudussa teidänkin kuva, eikö niin?
Now I told you what we do have and what is Visitlo, but I want to say some words what we are not. We have had quite a lot of work to simplify the environment for this experience. Only few buttons are needed as a customer point. And even these disappear when you have done your choices. So you can just concentrate on your tour. Our open source platform has reduced features, not added them. And we are not based on 3D models, and it's not used with virtual glasses on. The best group size is from few people to few dozen, just to get the good interaction, just like on the site. It's not that difficult. We made on comparing what we do have in different conferencing platforms on the market, and compared to them we have fewer features, and therefore it's easier to use for the customer and for the enterprise. On the other hand, the service provider does not need to set up on its own store, as Visitlo includes the store as a part of the service. We also provide design and production assistance for those remote experiences if needed. We can help you there. Visitlo is free to set up. It's up to organization or enterprise to decide the prices of the experience, of which our commission is 20%. But if you have no customer, you don't have any costs. And of course, the paid assistance is available to help you to make the remote experience virtual tours. From script writing, which I think it's very important to write it very communicative way in the very beginning. And we can also help with guide work. Customer feedback from our pilots confirms that experiences can also be powerful when experienced remotely. It was loved to be named by Santa, said lady from Italy, age 54. And it was very nice or interesting to hear radio talk features and gave really scientific and accurate facts. Sorry, all of them are not in English, but as Santa spoke Finnish and English stories in our pilots. Thank you. This is a short pickup from Visitlo. Please contact me. We can discuss more maybe at the stage there.
Thank you, Susanna. Great.
Kiitos.
It looks really great possibility to get additional income beside your real services you offer. And for example, here in this event we have heard the stories which I see that they can be provided also here. Susanna and Johanna, what you have told us here, why not to tell it 1,000 people at the same time? Okay, let's go forward. Swedish Lapland has developed digital touring routes, and now we hear online presentation of that. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Hyvää huomenta, Rauno.
Huomenta. Okay, please, stage is yours.
Thank you. I hope you can see and hear me well enough, at least. Good morning, everyone. And my name is Maria Serviö, and I work for Swedish Lapland Visitors Board. I'm here to talk to you about our project, Digital Touring Routes. A very brief presentation of our project, Digital Touring Routes, but I hope you'll find it nevertheless interesting. Okay, why is this not working? Tiaki, I can't change the slide. Why? Oh, okay, here we go. Okay, in short, the project is about making touring routes, for examples of touring routes that we present in Google Maps for people that are on site or traveling in Swedish Lapland by car or train or even by foot. But anyway, and this is also a way to promote companies that are more Google friendly, and also to make companies that are not that Google friendly to get a reason why to become more Google friendly, if I put it that way. You presented this as an initiative during the pandemic, which is kind of true, but this has been an idea in the works for quite some time, since we've seen that people traveling and visiting our destination by car has increased exponentially during several years, and we wanted to provide them with some kind of tool to get them to get to know our destination and explore our destination and make it easier to find things on our destination. So why Google Maps? We know that, well, you probably heard this before, every journey starts at Google. And many of these searches are also called local searches. By local searches, we mean that actually every search on Google is a local search, since Google always knows where you are. So everything that presents to you in the search is kind of based on the location. What we mean by local searches are searches with the local intent. So they signal something that I'm really phrases are that tell Google that I'm looking for something that's really close to me. And in the recent years, it's become a more and more urgent, signaling that customers have become more and more impatient as well, because they want to know what's open now, or things, do they have this thing in stock, or whatever. And most of them do that via their smartphones. Most people who search for something in their vicinity also visit that business usually within the day, many in the intent of purchasing something. And since I mentioned people taking more and more road trips, which of course grew a lot during the pandemic, these are quite recent now Google numbers. So searches for things along my route have increased globally quite a lot, actually. People looking for gas stations. Some of us actually drive the cars that uses gas, and something that tells us something about where we're heading. Now we just need to find somewhere to charge our car. We chose Google Maps because that's where the users are. We didn't want to build an app or a platform or something like that. We don't need. First of all, this is a short time limited project. If we had to build an app or something like that, we would have to use all our time and money to promote that app, and we didn't want to do that. And we also wanted to use a platform where the companies or your businesses own your information. So we don't put your information in Google. You do. You own that information in Google. You can change that information in Google. You can use it for your benefit, of course. But we also realized that many businesses really aren't there yet. Many are, but many are not. Many businesses aren't that Google friendly as we would like them to be. They don't have a Google My Business profile, which is the base of all search results. They don't have, and the base of their Google Maps listing, for instance. And many struggle with having a mobile-friendly web page. So part of this project is working with those issues. First of all, we started off with a test. This is something, since we never worked with maps before as content, we wanted to see what would happen. Let's put out a few maps, let's publish them, package them nicely on the interwebs, and promote them. We did a really short campaign on Facebook, and we targeted to people on site. So people that were actually on or near this route were targeted with ads about this route. Just for a couple of weeks. Since we didn't have any previous experience, we put out some pretty generic goals. We thought these were good enough. At least we had some room for improvement. But the results were kind of surprising, actually. It was really cost effective. People were really engaged in the content. And during these couple of weeks we promoted it, they kind of grew organically on itself. People shared them a lot. People discussed them in different kind of forums for things to explore there and there and there, which is really interesting. Well, this is during the campaign period, but I took a look back a couple of weeks ago to see if to take a look at those numbers again, and to my surprise, actually, it had, oh my god, there we go. It's now up in 391 shares. So even after the summer period where we promoted it, it has a life of its own, which actually says something about the content, that this is something that people find interesting and engaging. And this is one of the takeaways we took from this test, is that you can actually work with, as long as you can you can actually work with your company itself in the Google My Business profile and the Google Maps Twitter and so on. But you can actually benefit from working with the entire area or your specific village or the river you're close to or whatever, and by promoting more things to experience around your own business. Because people find this interesting. They like to explore, they like to experience different things. And this might even be a way to make people to stay longer, for instance. This is also a good way to perhaps start working with other companies close by, and see how you can expand your offer. You don't need to necessarily package things or whatever, but just to point out a perfect lookout spot or a perfect place to have a picnic or whatever is really appreciated and creates customer value. From there on, our findings, insights, and results, we're taking our next step is about looking to get more companies to become good at working with the Google My Business profiles. We're training to make own maps they can distribute to their own customers or users, publish on their websites. Anyone can make a map in Google Maps. It's free. Google My Business is free. It's a free tool to use. And you can, as I mentioned before, create some really nice customer value around it, especially those with traveling by car. Also in value of taking care of your customer reviews. Studies show that people read reviews, and they're hesitant to visit places with poor reviews. Even Google uses reviews to decide how to rank the search results. If you have a low ranking or stars, so to speak, or a few people that visit your spot, Google's going to rank you lower, for instance. And also look at opportunities to create collaborations between companies, so you can not necessarily create micro destinations, but using them to produce and put out content that people actually want to see and listen and take part of. So if you're in an exploration mode, a map and some useful tips on what to do in the surroundings is very much appreciated. That's one of our main takeaways from this. The project goes on for a couple more months. we have our project manager, Johanna Elenius. She's always looking for companies that would like to get better at Google, how they can promote their businesses through Google. So if you want to join this project, you're very welcome to contact her. Yeah, just to take it from there. Cool. Well, thank you for listening. Although brief, but anyway.
Thank you, Maria. Really, really interesting. And everybody we use Google, so it's easy to get in this. But as you are there and we are here, is Petronella, Håkan, Richard, somebody who could tell more about this if people are interested to come and... Riku is there. Riku, if you...
Yeah, talk to Richard, Riku. He's the perfect, he knows everything about this, probably more than I do even. So yeah, have a chat with him about this. And also, if you want to know more, if you want to join, just send an email to Johanna. It's much appreciated.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you, Maria. Hope to see you soon.
No niin. Hyvää päivää jatkoa teille. Have a nice day, everyone.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Okay, next we will go to the Norwegian initiation, ZAUI, and we have here Alexander Sørensen, who will tell about this new platform, new initiation. Welcome, Alexander.
Perfect, thank you. Okay, how are you this morning? Everybody okay? Perfect. First of all, thank you guys for yesterday. It was a great evening. I did not go to the sauna. And second of all, thank you so much, Rauno, for inviting us here to the networking event. It's very good to be back. I was on most of the meetings during the first Visit Arctic Europe, but then through my family business. ZAUI is a booking management system for accommodation providers, activity providers, transportation operators, and also rentals. We have technology first. That's our impression, and we want to make your life easier and better, so you use less time in front of the screen and more time with your guests. Changing? No? There. Well, first, Alexander Sørensen is my name. I am born and raised at the Tromsø Wilderness Center with huskies. I was driving guests when I was 8 years old, the smaller guests on Dogsled. And have been building the family business, Wildmark Center, up from nothing together with my mother and brother. I did have 6 years in working for TV2 Norway, working with the most advanced systems in Norway, and returned to the family business in 2010. I was in shock because it was, you know, the black book, everything was manually. And then I started to search for a booking software who could work for activity provider. I did found ZAUI in Canada in 2013 and took that over to Norway, and first started with Wildmark Center. Wildmark Center, I've never turned back. We have stayed with ZAUI, and we went from 500,000 euros to over 5 million euros in revenue over 4 to 5 years. The best thing, I think, was that we created over 60 new working places. We could hire 60 new guides in that period. After that, I started to work for ZAUI, and that's what I'm doing now. Okay. So ZAUI is a Canadian and Norwegian independently owned company. That means that we are not owned by a large hedge fund. We are not owned by big companies. Our key investor is Martin Hauge. And Martin Hauge was one of the first investors in Spotify, and have 25 years of experience as the board leader for tech companies. He believes in us. We have 65 employees spread over Norway, Canada, USA, and Sweden. And our technology is built by people in the tourism industry. Not only from, but in. We are working hands-on with the operators, together with the operators, to continue the development of the system. We will never stop developing. And we have a mission to empower suppliers to optimize their profitability, you could say that, but also to optimize the guest's experience by using technology as a part of the guest's journey. Not only just taking a booking and going forward, but that it's a follow to use technology for the whole experience. We are integrated with over 1,500 different reseller software, accounting software, CRM systems, you name it. We can integrate with basically everything because we have an open API. So this system you can do, if you have developers, of course, we have that. You can basically do whatever you want with this system. We have customers over the whole world. We have big, large enterprise. We have smaller customers, transportation customers, destination companies as well, and so on. Okay, so ZAUI is what we call a booking management software, SaaS. Everybody knows what SaaS is? Somebody? Software as a service. And that's what we are. We have the ZAUI Go, who is for transportation providers, everybody who does airport shuttle service. We have ZAUI Do, who is for activity providers, tours and activities. And we have ZAUI Stay, who is for accommodation providers. These three systems is also integrated with each other in one way or another. That means that your end customer could come to your site and choose the room and then choose the activity depending on which days and which activities are available on a certain day. So they could actually tailor their own itinerary on your website. ZAUI Stay also comes with this thing here. Maybe not the most beautiful thing, but it works. This is a lock who is connected to your property management system. That means that it's not Bluetooth, it's not NFC or any apps or anything. Your customer gets a PIN code on SMS. And it works, and we have tested it down to -30. It still works. So as long as it's warm indoors, this will work for you. We also do have ZAUI Services. And ZAUI Services is our very own accounting department. We have 10 persons working in our company, and we are an authorized accounting company as well. Our systems here are integrated with the accounting software we use. That means that each time a booking happens on your booking system, it auto-generates the invoice in your accounting software with the different tax split. I will not go that technical into this, but I'm pretty sure that most of you guys here understand what I'm talking about. We also have our own marketing team. We create a website where conversion is our main goal. We have, among other, hired Fredrik Amundsen from Visit Norway. We have built Visit Norway up from scratch 3 times. He is a mastermind, and the rest of the team when it comes to how to convert people on your website. We have one case where we have had a 5% conversion rate, and the average is between 1 and 2. Okay, I could talk a lot more about that, but now I want to show you the latest technology. It's called GoToHub. It's developed in Tromsø. Viggo here, my colleague, and Dan started that, GoToHub. We have tested this for many years now, and we are ready now to roll this out. So if you could play the movie first, that would be the easiest thing.
Peter and Anna run a destination management organization. They promote their region's local tourism suppliers on their website. However, they face many challenges to make these tours bookable. They don't have the resources to do the job. They want their members to get bookings, but cannot find the right solutions to achieve this. Until they hear about GoToHub. GoToHub is more than just another software solution. They assist DMOs with the entire operational process, from onboarding and content writing to customer service and supplier payouts. Once you partner up with GoToHub, the suppliers associated with you get onboarded and their activities added to the platform. Peter and Anna had the option to either get a brand new website from GoToHub or integrate the platform within their existing one. They choose the latter. Their website now promotes regional tourism, and activities can be booked quickly without them having to take care of any administrative hassles. But wait, there is more. Since all bookable products are onboarded onto GoToHub, anyone within the region can now sell their tours to each other. A local hotel can get an exclusive website with bookable products, and an activity provider can sell another provider's products. So when a DMO partners with GoToHub, a cross-selling ecosystem is created where everybody is a winner.
Yes, everybody is a winner with this platform here. Could you take me to slide 6? Is that possible? There. You remember yesterday when we had this session, we talked about the most biggest challenge was connectivity and employees. With our solution here, we could make this happen because each and every single supplier load their products into the hub, and everyone who wants gets their own front page. So they go inside their back end and they tick out that, okay, my small hotel here, Haparanda Stadshotel, I want to promote this provider, this provider, this provider, this restaurant, this provider, because that is in my area. Haparanda Stadshotel could also say that when my guests leave my hotel, they normally go to Tornio, for instance. They could have their own Tornio site where they promote activities there, and they earn commission out of that. A destination could have a lot more. They could have more of the activities, more of the restaurants, more of the museums, and everything. And Visit Arctic Europe, or This is Arctic site, could still use the web page they have now, no problem. But instead of being sent to the operator, they could book directly. At the moment now, we are integrated with ZAUI, BookingKit, Treksoft, and we are open to integrate with basically any reservation technology platform. For the smaller providers who doesn't want or need a REST tech, you work with this on allotments. So you put in from a standard, let's say 5 or 10 places, and you can go in and adjust that on a day-to-day basis. We have tested this locally in Tromsø just before Corona hit. We also have live sites now on Visit Harstad, who is integrated with their website. We have created Go to Arendal. You go in and have a look at that. We're also using our technology. We tested this in Switzerland last summer under Swiss activities. And during June and July, we sold more than Get Your Guide. Yes, it was during Corona, but for us, that was a huge win. What happens here is the closest thing we can come to, as we see it, a sustainable booking platform. Because when activity provider pays the commission when a tour is sold here, half of the commission goes to the site where that booking has been made, if you understood. So that means that it's no money who's going out of, it stays locally. All the money stays locally, and yes, we take a share, but then we also do all the hassles when it comes to bookings. We don't think a DMO should have like anything to do with bookings. But in order, they could write their own content, they could put that on and promote the activities. That's the main job as we see it as a DMO. Everything else of the technical side, we have taken care of and want to take care of. Okay, you could go to ZAUI.com, read more about this. We will also be at the Arctic Fika now for anybody who wants interested in asking some questions or discuss this further. Thank you.
Thank you, Alexander.
Oh,
very interesting.
Thank
Congratulations about the development.
Thank you.
And greetings to your mom. Okay, now we will make the Arctic Fika, and Susanna, Alexander, and Richard is there to tell more about these initiations. And please come back in time, 10:15, when we will hear Evelina Hederer from Expedia Group. Have a nice coffee. Okay, welcome back. Let's continue still in under the headline of digitalization. We have honor to get a speaker from Expedia Group, Evelina Hederer. And Evelina tells to us about future trends in digital sales channels. Can you hear us, Evelina?
Yes, hello, good morning. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, nice to see you and welcome to Haparanda virtually. We wished that you would be here, but it's good. You are most welcome like this.
Thank you so much. I wish I was there as well. Apologies, I was not able to come. I'm coming back with my family to Lapland in a couple of weeks. I'm taking my kids to see Santa, so I'll be close by.
Okay.
But this time it's not with you guys. So apologies for that. But I promise I'll come next year.
Okay, very good. Looking forward to your presentation, please.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. So thank you so much for presenting me and again for having me today. My name is Evelina and I work at the Expedia Group and I represent Expedia Group Media Solutions Department, which I will share with you what it's all about in a couple of slides. And my presentation will be today around the trends, the future trends, and especially what's going on and will be happening around digitalization. So very quickly, who I am and what I do. So I'm leading EMEA partnership department within Expedia Group. Prior to Expedia, I used to work for Visit Holland. So traveling is not new to me. It's my passion. I love travel myself and I love my job and I love sharing the travel stories with all of our partners. And very quickly, most of the people know Expedia as one of the biggest online travel operators around the world. But Expedia Group Media Solution is a department within OTA, and we are digital advertising arm of Expedia. We connect millions of people that come to our sites to book travel with the advertisers like Visit Sweden, for example, SAS Airlines, Visit Britain, and everyone who wants to reach those audiences that come to our site and buy the travel and try to show the beautiful destinations they have and try to convince them to come and visit their countries. And I very quickly will show you a video, so that will share a bit more idea what we do and how we do it.
There are more ways to travel today than ever before, and our travelers are always looking for their next trip. At Expedia Group Media Solutions, we connect your brand with highly engaged travelers throughout their purchase journey using dynamic digital marketing solutions to inspire, influence, and convert travel shoppers. We have a global network of over 200 leading e-commerce branded sites in more than 75 countries, speaking 35 languages, with hundreds of millions of monthly visitors, all searching for trips, booking flights, places to stay, ways to get around, activities, and more. This results in billions of data points that only we can offer, giving you unparalleled strategic insights to shape campaign strategy with precise targeting and robust reporting. Travel shoppers are at the heart of the experience. From custom campaigns to traditional display, native products to performance marketing solutions. Whether your target audience is big or small, wherever they may be, we have engaging, impactful, and scalable solutions for you. Reach the right shoppers at the right time with the right message to get the right results. Connect your brand with our travelers. There are more ways to travel.
All right, so you saw in the video that we are a global business. One of the most famous brand that we own is Expedia, but we also have other brands that are big or small in other markets. And hotels.com is the biggest one in Nordics. So you probably all have heard of hotels.com or Mr. Jet, which we also own in Sweden. So as you also saw in the video, we have millions of users that come every day to our site to dream of travel or to book a travel. And all of those users leave a lot of data behind. And the data is the king, especially these days when we're shaken by the pandemic around the world and we don't know what's going on. We can't access data that quickly. We at Expedia help our partners by using the data, not only to strategize their campaigns, but also set the trends. And so we have around 300 petabytes of data at our disposal as it's a first-party data. And to give you a bit of a perspective, what is the petabyte? So 10 million photos uploaded on Facebook equals 1.5 petabyte of data. So you can all imagine what that means to have 300 of petabytes of data. And with that data, as I said, we also not only help our partners to see what's going on in their countries, but also reading the trends. And I will share with you the latest trends. We just released our Q3 results, and please feel free to relax, sit down, and listen to my presentations. We will be able to share. I will share with you the QR code in the end, and you can take a picture if you want to download the report and read for yourself. But and then you will be able to ask questions at the end. But for now, I will walk you through what are the latest things that we're seeing. So the good news, and I love this news, is that the global demand for travel is growing. Obviously, with the vaccinations rollout last year, the confidence of consumers is growing, and that reflects in travel. And if we see in our global searches, so this slide shows the 4 super regions of the world: America, LATAM, EMEA, and APAC, and different countries represent them. These are the global searches and how they fluctuate during the summer months, the last 3 months of the quarter. So you can see that in EMEA, which is the yellow color, during the summer, the searches have dropped a little bit, especially towards the end of August, when people in most of the countries are taking the holidays. That's a very natural trend to see, and it's a very seasonal trend that we're seeing. But the good news is that in September, globally, the trends were coming back again, and people were coming to our sites and again started to plan their trips ahead for later in autumn. And also, if we're looking what they're searching, so during the pandemic, we saw a huge trend, and everyone pivoted from international travel to domestic travel. So people stayed domestically within their countries. People also stayed within Europe, within neighboring countries. The good news now is since the start of the pandemic, international is taking over domestic. And you can see here again, domestic searches versus international, which are in the yellow color. In September, towards the end of August and in September, we're seeing that it's really, really picking up, and people are searching and booking internationally. So really, really good news. Also, what we were seeing during the pandemic is that people were booking really, really last-minute trips. So obviously, it was very hard to understand what kind of restrictions the countries will impose, how people will people be able to travel, will they not be able to travel? So the confidence of booking ahead was really decreasing. And so 0 to 2 days, we saw the booking windows are growing. However, again, with the confidence of international coming back, and with the confidence of generally travel coming back, the searches are also growing much further ahead. And if we're seeing, again, the slide here represents global searches windows. So the yellow one is the short window, 0 to 21 days, and it's still the most popular one. However, towards the end of the summer, it started to decrease. And what we're seeing is that 61 to 90 days, which is the green line here, is starting to grow. So people are starting to book and search ahead. And also, if we dive deeper to understand what's happening in different super regions in the world, again, 0 to 21 days, the yellow line, you can see it's still the most popular. However, the 180 days, which is the white one in EMEA region, especially for international, is also growing. So that's what we haven't seen during the pandemic. During Q2, we saw that a little bit pick up on that, but now during Q3, the results are getting better, and the confidence is coming back to book ahead. Another trend that we saw during pandemic is that people were traveling less to the cities. They all wanted to go to nature. They wanted to be surrounded with fewer people. They wanted to see to be by themselves. So the cities started to decrease, and the searches for the cities started to decrease in our channels. However, again, in Q3, we're seeing that the big cities are bouncing back, and people are getting more and more confident in coming back to the cities. It's a very interesting also. I've noticed that Stockholm, for example, in Q2 was ranked for EMEA as a number 10 destination. And good news is now it's number 6. So the confidence again is coming back, and people are coming back to Sweden and visiting bigger cities. All right, so this was as a kind of small snapshot of our own data. As I said, it's our first party data. And now we'll move a little bit to talk about our external research. So every year we partner up with different companies and try to understand what is happening outside of our channels. So this time we did a collaboration with eMarketer to dive deeper to understand what is happening with the digitalization and how are people spending time on digital channels, and what are the future trends of that. So it's very interesting. I heard all sorts of different stories that during pandemic, even the older people had been forced to move to digital channels. And here I live in London, and I was told by my colleague that his grandmother, who is 85, she was not able to go and shop in the shops anymore, so she had to learn to book her food via online delivery. So it was in the past much more consumed. Digital channels were much more consumed by the younger generation. However, now it's internet and online is open to everyone. And in fact, what we think is that in the future it will only grow. So you can see in this slide, it's different countries around the world, and our prediction of how digital media will be changing by 2023. And it's only growing. And in China, it will be growing by 67%. And in Germany, which is the least digitalized country, is also predicted to grow by another 43%. So it's very, very important to have digital strategies when you plan your campaigns and when you plan your future activities. Also, one interesting trend that and the things what or myths we're hearing from our partners or consumers is that people always think that the visits that are coming, visitors that are coming to our site, they come to book travel. So during the pandemic, we saw a huge spike, of course, people coming to our sites to cancel or change their trip. They were not able to travel anymore, and we were swiped by huge numbers of phone calls, and we had to help a lot of people to replan their trips. And you can see also that lots of people do come, and it's the yellow line here that represents that they come to shop. But most of the people that come onto our sites is to dream. And this is our job. This is the job of Expedia Group Media Solutions, to inspire the people to travel and explore different countries around the world. And I wanted to share with you a very nice example that we did collaborate with with Kenyan tourism boards. During the pandemic, they were closed and people were not able to travel to Kenya. But they said, we want to remain at the front of people's minds, and we want to remain the top destination. Once we reopen the borders, we want people to come to Kenya. So we collaborated digitally with them, and we invited very famous influencers to come and talk about Kenya because they had been in Kenya before the COVID and to share their experiences. So I will share with you a quick video, and it's really, really nice, and hopefully you will be inspired to go to Kenya.
Kenya is without a doubt one of the most beautiful and diverse countries we've ever been to.
Getting up for sunrise and being out there with all the animals when they wake up, that's something I will never forget.
SMR is definitely one of the most standout regions on Earth that we've been to.
Just the wildlife there is outstanding. Some of the best I've seen anywhere in the world.
I was able to kind of chat to some of the women and get to know a bit about like their everyday life.
All right, so that was Kenya. It's really, as I said, during pandemic when we were not able to travel, it was really nice to have those destinations still working with us and trying to inspire people. And we saw the huge lift afterwards when they reopened for people to have the interest and travel to the country. But now people are quite tired of all of the digital visits to museums and theaters, and everyone really wants to go and actually explore again for themselves. And so with that, we're seeing some new trends re-emerging. And one of them is that it's not enough for people just to go and visit a city or a region or a museum. People want to have some meaningful things to do in the country. And with that, of course, the sustainability is a big, big topic. I hear sustainability pretty much every day. And we are speaking with a lot of partners about how we can help the countries, hotels, airlines to be more sustainable. And in fact, in the research that I was talking about, we found that almost 60% of people would be willing to spend more money if they knew that they will be participating in something that is more sustainable. So really, really, really huge trend. And I know it's a huge trend in Nordics, but it's becoming a huge trend globally. And what we're seeing also is that younger generations are in lead more for sustainability. So really Generation Z and millennials, they really do care about sustainability. And I have my own example. I took our kids to Costa Rica. My kids are 6 and 9. And we went to Costa Rica during Easter this year. And we did beach clean with them. So every day, 1 hour, we took the buckets in the hotel that they were providing, and we went to clean the beach. And I was really amazed to see how much they know already about that it's really bad to pollute the oceans, that it's really important to protect the oceans. So they've been taught at school to look after the nature. So that's where it's really important to have that conversation with this growing new generation to make sure that they continue to do this and look after the nature. And we also at Expedia, we've always been asked, what do we do around sustainability, given that we're such a big travel company? And so what we say is that sustainability is a journey. It doesn't happen overnight, and we need to have plans for the future. And it's not easy to do sustainability by yourself. So in one of the initiatives that we are doing in Expedia is we partner up with the UNESCO. And we are created this pledge where we work with the tourism boards and we work with the hotels and we invite hotels to join our pledge and commit to set to some concrete and transparent plans how they will become a bit more sustainable in the future. We started that with the Thailand Tourism Authority in 2019, and now it's growing hugely. We just recently signed a pledge with ATU France, which is the French tourism board. Visit Scotland recently joined us, and a couple of other destinations. But this is our growing initiative, and we expect more and more tourism boards and hotels to join us. Also, people, our partners, are taking sustainability to a next level when they come and do campaigns with us. And one of the recent ones we launched was with the Iberostar hotel chain. You probably are aware it's one of the biggest hotel chains in the world. It's family owned. It's very beautiful and unique properties that they own, but they didn't want just to run a simple campaign with us talking about their properties. They wanted to do something a bit more around sustainability. So they're supporting a charity which is called Wave of Change, and it's a commitment to the oceans around the world. And they are, you will see here in the little video, they are educating people about the uniqueness of their properties, but also what is their initiative to clean and prevent the oceans. And in particular, you can see here, it's protecting the oceans and the coral reefs. So as part of this campaign that we created together with the Iberostar, both partners donate also 100,000 each for their for this protection of the coral reefs, and we encourage also our users that come and read about it also participate and learn more how to be more sustainable during their travels and visits in the Iberostar. All right, and that brings me to the end of my presentation, and I want to leave with you with the 3 key takeaways. So the first one is that the travel is coming back. Yes, I know that in Europe we have some countries that are closing their borders again. Hopefully that's just for the winter and they will reopen. General trend around the world is that people are coming back to the planes, hotels, and even the ferries. So good news, and hopefully we'll see more of that going forward. People are planning further ahead. Yes, the 0 to 21 days booking window is still very popular, but with the confidence that consumers are growing, the further plan ahead is also growing. And the third one is that people want to find the new meanings in travel. It's not enough just to go and as I said, to see the city. They want to give something back. So it's very important to think what kind of activities people can do to feel that they participated in something good. And as I said, this is the QR code. Please feel free to take a picture of the slides. You can access our Q3 travel recovery trend, read more about it. And this is also, you can find my name and my email. Please feel free to get in touch. We can have a virtual coffee if you have any more questions or want to learn from me more. And that's it from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Evelina. Truly comprehensive and great presentation about current situation, but also nice evaluation about the near future. Do we have any questions to Evelina? No hands. Do we have any comments in our online? No comments. So thank you, Evelina, and take my thanks also to your colleagues who made cooperation with us in this great campaign we made together.
Thank you so much. All the best. Enjoy the rest of the day. And as I said, feel free to get in touch. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Evelina.
Bye. Thank you.
Okay. Do you know the feeling when you walk on the weak ice? I have that feeling now. The reason is that we wanted to have here New Zealanders visit New Zealand people to present us their Tiaki Promise campaign. And we got indication from very high authority that they will come. And we put it to our leaflet and to our program, but they are not here. So I have been awake 2 nights practicing my choreography of this Hakamaori dance for you. No, just kidding. But we spoke yesterday with Katja, who was with us in the team, that when we planned the content for Visit Arctic Europe 2, we saw that sustainability have to be there. But still, at least I considered that, okay, it's important, but it's just one side activity, and or as we said, that it's the sunshine which shine all to our activities. But still, that there is more important content. But what has happened, and what pandemic has enforced now? You have seen in this 1.5 days that in every speech the sustainability has been the very, very strong message. We have not briefed these guys to speak about sustainability. Of course, board was speaking about sustainability. But all of them, even Evelina from OTA, Expedia company, sustainability has come most important thing in tourism. And of course now, in this situation, just after pandemic, we have other priorities in our companies. Well, economical sustainability is part of the whole picture. But maybe now that we survive from pandemic and we start to run again, it's a more bigger priority than other things. So let's go back to New Zealand and Tiaki promise. Actually the context of that all and what I'm speaking here and what you see in this Hakamaori choreography today, we speak about, and I want that this is interactive. At least in the end, I hope that we create discussion around this. But context, I see that there is at least 3 things we need to include. It's social sustainability, social responsibility. How the tourism industry take notice the locals. How we will get in future, how we get license to act in tourism in our neighborhoods. How local society will get beneficial, how they will be beneficials, that only entrepreneurs and those who work for tourism, that there is wider, bigger group of society who get beneficial from the tourism. And how we get them also contribute for tourism, for development, for marketing, etc. Other thing, what we have heard also a lot during these 1.5 days is value creation. Volume or profit. Anu Pentik, who has run the Pentik brand, everybody knows the Pentik brand. She has run the business now more than 40 years. She has said that the turnover is nothing. It doesn't tell nothing. It's just that maybe we want to show how big we are, but in the end of the day, it doesn't tell nothing. But profit is essential. Cash is also good. You have to have cash that you can act every day, but profit is the main thing. Better quality. I have always said that we take care of the sustainability very much already in large sense if we strengthen or develop the quality and put our prices up. And then one important thing also in VAE region, balance within different actors, transportation and area capacity, for example. We have faced challenges, for example, in Lofoten, where ship will bring 800 people to the resort or to the harbor, to the little village where is maybe 12 toilets available. This is one example. And then one thing that I feel that is also including in this context is changing role of DMOs. We have already seen the samples in Globe that, for example, was it Malaga or I don't remember, that they took all money off from marketing and they cleaned their beaches and got positive circle in social media because of that. So, and now there is samples like Flanders in Belgium who don't concentrate so much to marketing to the final consumers or market areas, but they take care of locals' well-being. And in my mind, in this Hakamaori choreography, this is the context where also Tiaki promise and the roots of Tiaki promise are. Let's do so that we will look now little video. Then I will tell you a little bit more. I have a copy-paste some text and I will read it to you what is behind of this Tiaki promise campaign. But please guys, if you could put the number 1 video.
New Zealand is our home. It is precious, and everyone who lives and travels here has a responsibility to look after it.
Tiaki means to care for people and places. The Tiaki promise is a commitment to care for New Zealand, for now and for future generations.
To care for land, sea and nature, treading lightly and leaving no trace.
To travel safely, showing care and consideration for all.
To respect culture, travelling with an open heart and mind.
While travelling in New Zealand, follow the Tiaki promise. Act as a guardian.
Protect and preserve our home.
Help us care for New Zealand.
Okay. They don't deny people to come, but they welcome people who commit to this promise. Tiaki is an indigenous Maori word meaning to protect or care for. And the Tiaki Promise campaign is created and promoted by industry and New Zealand government together. So industry and government has committed together. Main message of this campaign is that New Zealand is our home. It is precious. Everyone who lives and travels here has a responsibility to look after it. While traveling in New Zealand, follow the Tiaki promise. And why they have done this? In New Zealand, tourism has boomed in recent years. In 2016, it overtook the dairy industry as New Zealand's largest source of foreign income. Before COVID, about 3.8 million tourists visited in the nation yearly, which has a resident population of just under 5 million, about the same size as Finland and Norway. In Sweden, you have more. The largest numbers of tourists came from Australia, China, and United States. Stephen England Hall, Chief Executive of Tourism New Zealand, has said that without specific guidance, tourists often default to doing what they have to do back home. In some parts of the world, it's common to litter, and people are paid to pick up the litter. If we don't say, don't litter, people will. And in the peak season, it can be a problem. And some of the New Zealanders are becoming resentful at the increasing popularity of so-called freedom campaign. That's when tourists pitch a tent or stay in the motorhome outside of the designated campaign area in order to save money. A lack of toilets and trash bins mean they often leave the mess behind. England Hall said that the new campaign is not specifically directed to freedom campers, but is sending broader message. He hopes tourists will search information about the Tiaki promise online or be informed at places like rental car agencies. The Tiaki promise also covers things like being respectful to Maori culture, preparing properly for hiking and other outdoor activities, and reminding tourists to drive on the left side of the road. This is important. We have no growth targets. We have absolutely no interest in having a volumetric view of tourism that doesn't create the benefit that they are looking for. What we are looking for is higher contribution, and that can be economic, social, environmental, and so forth. England Hall says that Tourism New Zealand has a clear understanding that they ultimately serve the Kiwi population, not the tourists. Can you imagine? It's more important us to look after the overall needs and desires of New Zealanders than our visitors. We need to look at the risk of over-tourism, which is where visitors' numbers can be overwhelming, and that starts to create challenges for local residents or even problems for other visitors and tourist businesses. It's complicated, but what's pretty powerful is that there has been recognition by local government, central government, and the tourism industry that we can learn and take a lot away from what's happening in other countries who have failed to take proactive stance on this. And then there is one industry representative, Chris Roberts of tourism industry Aotearoa. Sounds very much like Tourism New Zealand Stephen England Hall, on the subject of tourist growth figures for the future? Well, we don't actually look at arrivals forecasts. We are entirely focused on value. We look at where tourism value is increasing. That can happen with fewer visitors, the same number of visitors or more visitors. So it's not numbers game. It's about the value we get from the visitors' economy. We don't deny no one to come, but we welcome the guests who respects our values. Quite strong message. Let's look at another video, and then I hope that this wake up little discussion here.
On behalf of New Zealand, I'd like to make you a promise that when I'm all grown up, I'll show your kids the best way down this mountain.
I promise to take your kids out for a surf. My favourite sport. I promise to teach you the water my kuya taught me. To someone special. I promise to invite them over for dinner. I promise to take an epic photo of them here and here. But first, we are the visitors of today make a promise to our future that while travelling around New Zealand, you'll help protect and preserve our home, caring for our land, our sea, and our culture. Please follow the Tiaki promise.
What do you say? This phase is end of this seminar, but maybe this is the seed of something new, a new start. Do we have to do as a region, as a companies, something that we are as an industry more powerful and safe in the future? Which kind of thoughts you have? Welcome to dance with Waka Maori with me here.
Do you hear me? Yeah. Okay. I was amazed that without even mentioning the word sustainability, that's what they're talking about. In a very emotional way. So I sit here with almost tears in my eyes, and I completely understand what they say.
Here.
Okay, can you hear me? I was thinking a lot when you said don't only measure the amount of visitors, because we are actually doing like these goals for our local destination, Luleå, and we were discussing should we only count the amount of visitors? That's because that's in the end creates new job opportunities in our destination, but it's also very important. Is it always the amount or more what they value, each customers, each visitors? So that's I will take with me back home, and I made a note to myself about that.
Yeah.
Also, when we had this Visit Sweden and Swedish Lapland's goals, we had this that we will to 2020 double the omsättning revenue. So not only counting in numbers, because you can have a double revenue without doubling the number of people coming here.
Alexander.
Yes, thank you. So before I went here, I talked to Corey, the CEO of ZAUI in Canada. What he said was that we saw across all systems, except the systems in Norway, activity providers had increased their prices with over 40% post-COVID. And they had reduced the amount of people they took on tours, but they have increased the price with over 40%. And it's very much what we are talking about here, like increasing the revenue, and not increasing the amount of visitors. And you could use tools for that. Not only ZAUI, but ResTech tools and other technology tools to do that.
Yeah. Håkan.
No, but one thing that I think is super important to see with New Zealand, and when we talk about sustainability, is that they had a big problem. They had to close walking trails. They had to really start with that when they had a problem. But they also had a tradition of working with tourism in a way. And I think that is something that I often see is missing in the Swedish, at least now I'm only talking for Sweden. I don't know Norway and Finland as good, but when we see it on the governmental way, or Länsstyrelsen, who is in charge for the mountains, for example, there is no really proactivity on pointing out the places where we have a little bit of what sometimes is referred to as over-tourism. And that would be one of the things that would be super interesting to start working with. So we don't have to, we don't end up in this thing that it's not good, like we have to close, we should be in front of this and try to develop. And now with the COVID, there is a super good chance for that, because it's a low pressure at the moment, unfortunately, I need to say. But that would be very interesting to see that how we could work with the government or the people who's actually in charge of land use, because what is most important with Tiaki is that they say this is our place. People is welcome to come and share our Arctic lifestyle, as we say in Sweden. And I think that's what we want to keep. We need to keep the people living, working, making this the world's best place, still feel that this is the world's best place, even if we have more numbers of tourists coming in. This is an important thing. So I love what Tiaki is doing on the emotional side.
Yes.
After all, we should be very happy to live in the world's best place. We don't need to go to New Zealand when the apocalypse is coming. We can stay put, guys.
Please, here's...
Thank you. I also like the fact that it's they show their initiative as a global initiative coming from the government, and I think I want to go in the same direction as Håkan just said. But yesterday, Signe said that are we talking about a change of era or era of change? And I think that for many years we have been focusing on should we develop tourism or sustainable tourism and everything that is linked to sustainability. But the other way to see it is also to see tourism as a way to improve sustainability as a development for region for countries. And these are two parallel views or visions that we should also develop.
Very good.
Thank you.
Very good thoughts. Okay, maybe this was all about this, and let's take something from this also in our homes and our societies. And should we start to discuss what is the next step, what we should do as an area, as a companies, and so on. And there is a little connection also within this, and I want to say this because many people has asked that if VAE III will come. And it's so that partners has started to plan the content and how that would be possible. And the new Interreg season will open in 22, and there is in their program there is space for our kind of projects. So let's see how it goes, but definitely we go for it. And this new Interreg program, they push actors also to this social responsibility direction. So let's take Tiaki to home. Let's think what it can be in our region, in our activities, and let's see what happens there. Okay. Now it's time to end Visit Arctic Europe 2 networking event number 3. Finally, this was 6 times when we tried to do this, and finally we we succeed. I want to thank so many people, whole team, Göril, John, Steve, Cecilia, Nina, especially Maikku, who has made 6 times enormous work for this event to happen. I want to thank Susanne and Tarja in Stadshotel, Johanna, Kukkola Forsens, and all you who came here, but also our online guests. There has been about from 13 to 30 people following us online, so altogether we was maximum 80 people in the event. Hopefully we see you all latest in Alta in middle of the June 22. And what else I have to say, Maikku? Nothing more. Is that all? Okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you for coming. Joo. Huh? Lunch. Yeah, we have lunch. In the Stadshotel. Sorry. Yeah, we have recorded this event, and recording will be sent to you latest on Friday, and all materials which we have permit to publish, we will publish also in Basecamp on Friday. Yes. Yeah, feedback questionnaire will come, and hopefully you will answer. Now, thank you. Nothing more.